How does everybody deploy? Do they generally use HTML in a table, like in the JSON sample file?
Oh my gosh, you stepped into it right there. Yeah.
You got in
Too late
trouble,
for that,
Jeremy,
huh?
did you?
Too late in the meeting to bring that one up.
Well, Gabe isn't here. He's on holiday this week, so we can't really fight over it. But the way that I teach people, the way that I have set my environment up, you've seen it, is just to string
Numerous.
to just collect it all as a string, use modern tools to bundle it up, and then throw it in a FileMaker field.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Yeah, I was curious to know what other people did, or if they did something different or not in this group.
In the community, there's a lot of differences. And when you're here next week, you'll hear Gabe talk about it, but he does the same thing. He just does a lot of the more substitution idea. Putting the different, he doesn't do the one string thing. He separates them out.
But he stores it in scripts, doesn't he?
He stores it in script. A lot of people like to put in the insert text.
Insert text.
Yeah.
Which is fine, then it's in a script, which has pros and cons, like everything, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do, Adam? I think you said you do it in the text field as well, right, Adam?
Yeah. This is similar to what Jeremy said. Everything in one file, when it's possible. Everything in one file. Put it in the file into the field, and then use it from there. But it's not always possible. This is the problem.
When is it not possible? Everything in one file.
Then I put this one file or more files, however, on the web server, and I talk to the web server. And the server is,
when does it not become possible? Because I got some pushback last week when I presented at DevCon at a user group about sticking it in a text field. Is it not possible because you have too much text to put into a field, or
no? My experience is when the functions or the libraries that you are using, they have some or doing some issues that when you call it from the local file, then in the web viewer you see the CORS policy violation.
Okay.
And when this happens, I know, okay, I cannot surf it or load it from the file directly from the hard drive. I need to surf it using a web server. But this is also not so. Yeah, you have a additional component that you have to maintain, the web server. But what I'm using is always the web server that is coming with the FileMaker server.
Okay.
Yeah, and I put there new instance, and then I put the file there, and I load it from the same location that the FileMaker files are served, but using a different port, so I can, because the port for 433 is used by the FileMaker server, but other ports are free, so you can use other ports to use it. So this is my solution in this case.
Why not host those just from like a folder? It's a folder in the web directory.
Yeah, folder is the problem that when I call this function, you get the CORS policy violence.
Sorry, I meant on the server. Like rather, you said you use
on the server,
like a web server instance, but if can you just use the existing web server instance?
I'm using the existing. Yeah, I'm using the existing web server from the FileMaker server, because FileMaker server is using always the web server, no? Nginx on the Linux and IIS on Windows, and there you can put a new instance, no? And then I use it there.
So that's the part I was questioning. You said a new instance. That means like a separate web server that you're running?
No. The web server, I don't know how they call this. This is in IIS. You have another folder that you define a new.
Hosted location. Yeah. Okay. Yep. This is same web server running.
Same web server. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would love
a way to and so on. So sorry. Yeah.
No, I apologize. I interrupted, but so I've looked at using the built-in WebDirect web server for this purpose, and I think um, including sort of storing data in a text field and sort of loading that into my JavaScript as an example, but it's obviously, I think it's insecure. I don't think there's a way to lock down individual folders or directories from outside viewers who would just know to, or have the patience to go through and find. It's not a security through obscurity kind of thing. Is there a way to use WebDirect and also lock down directories in WebDirect to hide them from the outside world and only available to FileMaker, as an example, if anyone knows that? I hope I explained that well. I did. I said roundabout.
When you said WebDirect, I think you just mean the web server, right?
Well, yeah, that's right. I mean, well, it's the same. It's the same web server, is it not?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
when FileMaker server is hosting, it's the WebDirect server.
Yeah, got it.
So what I do sometimes is I'll put documentation up, and it's just like straight up HTML and whatever I generated from a documentation thing. So, and that, I don't care if that's publicly available. That's the idea for people to go in and read the docs. But sometimes, like in one case, I had this very large table of, or like a JSON object of Canadian postal codes and their geolocations and that sort of thing. And so I actually hosted it as a text file and then called that file from the web. And it overcame all the CORS restrictions and everything else. Mm-hmm. And also that one was okay because it's kind of like publicly available information. But is there a way, if you had a large table of information that you wanted to keep private and use it as data in your JavaScript, is there a way to hide, to host it, but also hide it from prying eyes, robots, whatever, out there?
I think you can. It's just kind of the same web technology authentication you have anywhere, and so it's not like it's authentication required by default. It's open by default, and you have to. It's up to you to do the authentication. So the simplest is you could do simple auth, where you could set up users and passwords in probably in IIS. I haven't tried that before, but that's probably not what you want. You probably don't want people to have to type in user and password to get that.
No, that's yeah.
So it's just a whole other issue to deal with, the authentication layer.
Or you could allow from certain IP addresses.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. And on the scenario, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So this is something where you're actually editing like the web server config, the files and stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Which means that you, every time you upgrade FileMaker server, probably have to go in and okay. Well, I appreciate that.
This is true.
It's always a hard thing. We talk about this like every other week here, and there's a lot of complexities around it. In my experience, I've never had an issue with the text fields method. I don't think Todd would have chosen that method for the add-ons that are in the product for thousands of users if it weren't a viable method. Granted, we did have we had some restrictions by Claris. Obviously, we don't want it reaching out to a remote server somewhere that Todd would have had control over or something. But I don't know. I don't even give it a second thought anymore because I just stick it in a text field and I'm done. I just let it run from there. So I feel like we need to have. Yeah.
Why don't people like it? That's what I don't get. What's wrong with doing it
in a text field?
Yeah.
I don't
know either.
One argument I could see is if you have if you just want to easily add one little thing, or you want it really portable, there's maybe other ways that it could be done, but it's not like it's wrong. It's maybe not right, not perfect for every single solution all the time. That's about all I can think of.
What do you mean? To add something like change the color?
Oh, I don't know. There's just other ways you could potentially do it. Like you could encode it and put it all on the web viewer. That way it's easy to copy and paste it. Or like there's just, sometimes it depends on your concern, like what your concern is. If your concern is this highly portable thing, you don't necessarily want someone to put a new table in, other preferences. That's that kind of line.
Like you can,
the main thing.
yeah, you can copy paste the web viewer kind of thing.
Yeah, I would say I do it primarily because I'm probably too lazy. It's just really easy to paste into an insert text. Like,
Get out of here.
I need to start doing it the other way just to get the practice of it. Probably.
I think it's easier to click build and upload than it is to copy and paste.
That's what I keep trying to tell people, Dan.
No, you're talking like long term, easy. That's just short term.
Right.
Yeah,
You got to get the build tools together first.
No, he has the build tools.
I have it all. It just I don't have it. I'm not saying I can defend it well.
No. I'm not here to. Hey, whatever inefficiencies you want to perform, I'm good with that.
No judgment.
Well, here's the
None
thing.
whatsoever.
AS Code is so efficient, right? That we have to put in something.
I see. I've never explored that idea. If there's a possibility, I think someone mentioned this, to run a script that creates the XML that would create that insert text script step. I just like the fact that I can deploy this and change it up in a half a second without a problem. I can version it. I can create it, have a new widget inside. There's a thousand reasons, but I do this every day, many times a week. So it's easy.
You can do a script set to insert the text from one of your fields. It's easy.
There you go.
If you have to.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like we need to have a good formal discussion on this and just lay out all the possibilities. Maybe I need to create a whole new space in the community that just talks about storing your data, deploying your data, and get lots of people's thoughts and opinions. Here's how they do it, and here's why. Just put it all out there and let people choose the most efficient way to do it, and we'll be good. So,
Read Sam's post in the chat.
just a preference. Yeah. So anyway,